Welcome to Future Wheels, and today we're stepping into a world where British luxury, heritage craftsmanship, and unapologetic excess collide. This isn't just another high-end Range Rover. This is the Overfinch Range Rover Holland and Holland edition, a vehicle that feels less like a car and more like a rolling expression of old money Britain, built for country estates, tailored suits, and traditions that stretch back centuries. At its core, this is a long-wheelbase Range Rover SV, already one of the most luxurious SUVs on sale. But once Overfinch and Holland get involved, it transforms into something far more personal and far more theatrical. Two iconic British names come together here, one known for bespoke performance and presence, the other revered worldwide for handcrafted firearms, and the result is a Range Rover that doesn't chase trends, but quietly defines its own class. From the outside, the first thing that hits you is restraint, the very British kind. Finished in a deep, traditional British racing green, the paint alone feels like a nod to rolling countryside roads and misty mornings outside a grand estate. Subtle gold accents trace the bodywork, never shouting, always whispering. Overfinch's bespoke grille sits proudly up front, complemented by finely detailed vents and discreet Holland and Holland badging that rewards a closer look rather than demanding attention. The stance is commanding but dignified, helped by exclusive 23-inch forged wheels that fill the arches perfectly without tipping into excess. Even with its size, this Range Rover doesn't feel aggressive, it feels assured. It's the sort of presence that looks just as at home pulling up to a private members club in London as it does parked beside a shooting lodge in the countryside. Everything about the exterior says confidence, not flash. But it's when you step inside that the Holland and Holland edition truly separates itself from anything else on the road. This cabin doesn't just use luxury materials, it celebrates them. Rich leathers wrap nearly every surface, finished in deep greens and warm tans that echo traditional British sporting colors. The stitching patterns are inspired by the checkering found on Holland and Holland shotguns, creating a tactile connection between automotive craftsmanship and centuries-old gun-making artistry. Walnut wood dominates the interior, and not just as trim, it flows across the dashboard, steering wheel, gear selector, and door handles, chosen specifically to mirror the wood used in Holland and Holland's most prestigious firearms. This isn't decorative, it's deliberate. Even the engraved metal details borrow from the scroll work used by the brand's master engravers, scaled and adapted for a modern luxury vehicle. The ambience inside feels more like a private club than an SUV. Soft lighting highlights textures rather than screens, while thick carpets and embroidered details remind you this was designed for people who appreciate subtlety. In the rear, passengers are treated to an experience that borders on indulgent. Reclining seats, deployable tables, deep pile carpets, and a champagne fridge that feels like it belongs in a gentleman's lounge rather than a boot. Speaking of the boot, practicality takes a back seat to theater. Instead of conventional cargo space, you'll find beautifully crafted companion chests, capable of housing fine crystal, premium drinks, bespoke accessories, or, for those who choose to go all in, a secure storage system for Holland and Holland shotguns themselves. It's extravagant, yes, but it's also perfectly on brand. Underneath all this craftsmanship, the performance remains thoroughly modern. Power comes from a twin-turbocharged 4.4-liter V8 with mild hybrid assistance, producing over 600 horsepower. On paper, it's capable of serious speed, but on British roads, that power is delivered with refinement rather than aggression. This Range Rover isn't about sprinting, it's about covering distance effortlessly, whether that's a motorway cruise or a narrow country lane. The ride is composed, quiet, and deeply reassuring. Even in less than ideal weather, it feels planted and confident, reminding you that beneath the bespoke luxury, this is still very much a Range Rover at heart. Exclusivity, of course, is a huge part of the appeal. Production is limited to just 25 examples worldwide, and pricing reflects that rarity. By the time options are added, bespoke finishes, interior configurations, and optional Holland Holland accessories, the price can soar well beyond £400,000, and in some cases approach figures that feel almost surreal for an SUV. But this car isn't about value for money, it's about identity. It's for someone who wants their vehicle to reflect tradition, craftsmanship, and status without ever needing to explain itself. And that's what makes the Overfinch Range Rover Holland Holland edition so fascinating. It's not trying to be the fastest or the flashiest. It's a celebration of British heritage translated into modern luxury on wheels. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most bespoke SUVs ever created, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Future Wheels, and let us know. Would you actually drive something like this? Or is it destined to live a pampered life in a climate-controlled garage? We'll see you in the next one.